One was the drunken master, Hong Kong's daredevil, crashing through glass with a grin and a busted rib. The other, a wushu prodigy, China's golden child, precision, power, myth in motion. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, two titans, two philosophies, never rivals in words, just in whispers. Because in 1995, Jet Li starred in a film that mocked Jackie Chan to his face without even saying his name. And Jackie Chan, he said nothing, but he felt everything. The fans made it a war, the silence made it real. And when they finally shared the screen, it wasn't a fight, it was a lesson. This is the untold story of Jet Li versus Jackie Chan, the rivalry that never exploded, but it still left shockwaves. Before the silence, before the war, before the team up that came way too late, two legends were being forged on opposite ends of China. Jackie Chan didn't come from a temple, he came from a boot camp.
My father's friend introduced, why do you send your son to the martial arts school? He have this kind of talent. So he sent me there. It's called like a Beijing opera.
How old were you when you first became interested in the martial arts?
When I was 7.
When you were 7?
Yeah.
And you went to a special school, didn't you, called the Chinese Opera School?
Yes.
The China Drama Academy, a brutal Peking opera school where pain was the curriculum and survival was the diploma.
I'm so happy. They said, we have a 3 year, 5 year, 7 year, 10 years. I said, 10 year, 10 year, 10 year.
3 days later, and the teacher said, come here. I think it's about time you have a jajangmen.
After I signed the contract, 1 week later, I cried like a hell.
He was enrolled at age 7. His teacher, Master Yu Jim Yuen, adopted him, not metaphorically, literally, which meant he didn't just get trained, he got targeted.
5 o'clock, they just get the stick, run, pa, 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 just hit you.
Really?
Run without bouncing, with 2 cups full of water. And if you drop the water, the teacher is going to whip you. Then after that, upside down, handstand, 1 hour.
1 hour on your handstand?
Yeah,
Doing a handstand.
1 hour and handstand. After that, 1,000 punch, and 500 kick. Whatever we do the most difficult pose, stop. Then everybody stop like 20 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, and singing.
And singing, singing, somersault.
In school, they called him 2 times boy because he had to do everything twice. Twice the drills, twice the discipline, and twice the punishments. 10 years, no family visits, no breaks, just bamboo sticks, splits, and forced smiles.
But my personal, I like this kind of training because my teacher, so tough. So this is why Sammo Hung, Yuan Bell, me, we all, the team, we so disciplined.
But Jackie Chan learned to endure. He learned to flip, to fall, and to fight, not just with his fists, but with flair. He wasn't just learning Kung Fu, he was learning entertainment as endurance. No wires, no camera tricks, no stunt doubles. If he was gonna survive, he had to make it real, and he had to make it his.
But I just want to know, how many styles of martial arts?
When I in the school, I learned Southern style. After 10 years, I learned Northern style. So I know both styles.
I learned karate in the morning, hapkido at noon, boxing at night. Which is Tong Long, we call Tong Long. And I learned Tong Long, and also at the end, I like Bak Mei. Bak Mei is more like with the teeth here, and this.
When Bruce Lee died, Hong Kong needed a new dragon.
And that time after Bruce Lee died, there's so many action movie. So the audience get tired because there's so many Bruce Lee, Bruce Table, Bruce Chair, Bruce, everybody named Bruce.
Yeah.
You and I making a movie. I'm first time, and the director called me up. So hard to make a film. First time I have my own poster. I don't even see my name. Second, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan.
Jackie tried to imitate Bruce, and he failed. Miserably. Because Jackie wasn't a god of Kung Fu. He got hurt, he got knocked down, but he got up and he turned pain into punchlines.
Later on, I said, how I different than Bruce Lee? Then slowly, I with my friend, I start going it and we watch Bruce Lee. Okay, Bruce Lee kick high, I kick low. After Bruce Lee, like this, I do this. And later on, they just said, everybody said, Jackie, just be yourself. I said, oh, myself? Okay.
And Drunken Master, he flipped the genre. Kung Fu could be funny, and in Police Story, it could be modern, fast, and messy. Jackie didn't act like a hero. He suffered like one. Every stunt was real. Every fall was unpadded. Every bruise was a receipt. He didn't fake his strikes. He earned them. And fans around the world, they saw it, and they never forgot. But meanwhile, on the other side of the country, another warrior was rising. Jet Li was born on April 26, 1963 in Beijing, China. His given name was Li Lianji. When Li was just 2 years old, his father died of a stroke. Li's mother became extremely protective of him, and she kept him indoors. When Li turned 8, his mother finally allowed him to start attending school, but because his family was poor, Li had to wear his older sister's hand-me-downs.
There was a pair of pants he had to wear to school, which was clearly girls' pants because there was a zipper down the side rather than the middle, and he'd walk down the hallways at school with his hand covering the zipper so they couldn't tell it was girls' pants.
But here's where our story shifts, because that summer, everything would change. See, every summer, Chinese children were assigned to learn a special skill, and by chance, Li was chosen to study contemporary wushu.
Wushu is sort of a formalized version of martial arts that has a long, long tradition in China, and it became sort of the national sport of China, and very, very important within the Chinese customs and their history.
His body was built for wushu, flexible hips, low center of gravity, explosive timing.
As a young boy in China, what age did you start martial arts? You start studying?
Yeah, when I was 8 years old, I started training martial arts.
Very strict, yes?
Yes, very.
How did it come about?
My coach, Wu Bin, his name is Wu Bin, a very famous guy. He just thought I have the talent, just kids learning martial arts. Then after six months, I slightly knows martial art like have something.
Tell us what your daily training was like.
I wake up every morning 5:30 or 6 o'clock, running for 400 meters for 20 rounds. And then some little bit training, then go to breakfast. Then take 1 hour, 8:30, start training until 12. And then go have lunch, then sleep. Wake up, read the newspaper. And after that, you have a little bit break. And in the evening, you need 7 o'clock, go to training again. And until 10. Then after 10, you need to go to bed every day. 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. Wow. I training 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I work. Because if you learn martial arts better, then you don't need to go to the farmer to become, in that time,
He joined the Beijing Wushu team, China's martial arts dream factory. But this wasn't Kung Fu theater. It was national diplomacy in motion.
Jet Li was a member of the Beijing Wushu team. It's basically like, imagine the gymnastics. And he's the best in floor exercise and uneven parallel bars and all of these things. And imagine he's a gold medal winner in several of those things. That's the equivalent. He knows so many styles and mastered them since he was a child.
Jet Li learned to conquer forms, Changchuan, Fanzichuan, Shuojiao, and nearly every traditional Chinese weapon that you can name. At age 11, he became China's all-around wushu champion, beating adults twice his size. At age 12, he performed for Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger. Jet Li wasn't just talented, he was a political symbol, a kid carrying a country's image on his back. And then in 1982, he exploded in the film with Shaolin Temple, the first martial arts movie ever made in mainland China. And it wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural resurrection.
Jet Li's movie being such a hit worldwide established this kung fu interest again. And a lot of masters, a lot of people, whether they were Shaolin Kung Fu or other forms of Chinese Kung Fu, started setting up shop either around Shaolin Temple or in Shaolin Temple.
Suddenly, Kung Fu was cool again. Tourism surged. Wushu academies popped up everywhere. Jet Li didn't just star in a movie, he revived a legacy. And when he took on the role of Wong Fei Hung in Once Upon a Time in China, he wasn't just playing a myth, he became the myth. History in motion, grace in combat. Where Jackie Chan stumbled and laughed his way through chaos, Jet Li glided through the fire like a monk on a mission. Where Jackie Chan broke rules, Jet Li honored them. Jackie Chan was chaos, Jet Li was control. Jackie Chan fought like a street kid with nothing to lose. Jet Li moved like a weapon blessed by the state. So when fans compared them, they weren't just picking between actors. They were choosing between philosophies. One man shaped by the drama of the stage, the other man molded by the discipline of national sport. Jackie Chan's style, gritty, improvised, comic chaos. Jet Li's, graceful, epic, mythic precision. Both were elite. Both were unique. But they were never trained to be rivals. That part, that came from us. See, the rivalry, it didn't start with them. It started with us, the fans. Now guys, the truth is, I didn't grow up watching Jackie Chan and Jet Li at the same time. I came into Kung Fu movies late, the late 90s, the early 2000s, and by then, I thought the two of them were rivals. And I don't even know where I got the idea. A Kung Fu forum, some movie magazine I might have read, and maybe I just filled in the blanks with my own imagination. But these guys, they were too big, too iconic, and too different not to be in competition, right? But here's the twist. That rivalry, it might not have come from them. It might have come from all of us watching their movies. Look, when I told my YouTube coach that I was going to be working on this project, I said something to him like, hey man, I always thought that Jackie Chan and Jet Li had a beef in the 90s, but it turns out it was all over a movie that somebody made that mocked Jackie Chan, and Jet Li was the star in it. And he didn't even hesitate when he responded. He told me, man, Prince, I believe that no one was bigger than Jackie Chan.
It's almost sad that he doesn't get the nod as the best martial arts fighter on film ever.
So you would say that'd be Jackie Chan over everyone else, including yourself?
Come on, I ain't nowhere near that. Come on, man.
I don't want to get into too much of his business, but he told me that he grew up doing Shaolin Kung Fu in California. And back then, Jackie wasn't just a hero. For his classmates, he was the guy, not Bruce Lee.
An actual fight between Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
An actual fight? What I would think?
Yeah, who would win that fight?
If I was a betting man, I'd say Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan was bigger.
Of course not Steven Seagal.
Can I laugh in your face?
He said that nobody touched Jackie to them. After Rumble in the Bronx, he said it was game over. Jackie Chan was the king. But then 1998 happened.
Warner Brother invited me come to Lethal Weapon 4. Then I have a chance to work with a lot of great actress in Hollywood.
Jet Li crashed on American screens like a wrecking ball. No jokes, no ladders, no goofy sound effects, just raw technical violence. Lethal Weapon 4 wasn't a great movie, but Jet Li was the moment. And suddenly, everyone with a Kung Fu tape collection had to pick a side.
Jet Li knows more martial arts than anybody you've ever seen on film.
Jackie Chan or Jet Li? Comedy or cool? Daredevil or silent and disciplined? Real pain or real technique? But that same year, Jackie Chan dropped Rush Hour, a crossover hit, global stardom.
Jackie always talk about his best movie, Rush Hour. It's the work with the superstar. Who's the guy? Chris Tucker. But I met Chris Tucker. He said he really want to work with me.
So now we had two Chinese martial arts superstars, and they were dominating American theaters within months of each other. They didn't throw punches at each other on the screen, but the media didn't care. The headlines called it a showdown, and the fans, we made it one. And honestly, it wasn't just pure hype, because just a few years earlier, Jet Li had starred in a film that many fans in Hong Kong saw as a direct hit on Jackie Chan. A film that mocked his style, his image, and maybe even his legacy. Look, Jet Li didn't write it, he didn't direct it, but like I said, he was the star in it. And Jackie Chan, he stayed completely silent for years. Maybe they never hated each other, but maybe there was something unspoken, a pause, a rift, a reason why it took over a decade for them to share the screen. And in that silence, all of the fans filled in the blanks. Not because we made it up, but because we felt it. Jet Li and Jackie Chan, they were always in the same orbit, but they were never on the same set. For years, it felt inevitable. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, the two biggest martial arts stars of their generation. Different styles, same era, same fan base, same studio. That's right, both men were signed to Golden Harvest Studios. Jackie Chan was the crown jewel, and Jet Li, he was the rising heir. It should have happened, a team up, a clash, something with these two guys together, but nothing came. No guest appearance, no shared fight scene, no passing the torch moment, just missed connections and mutual silence. One of the closest near misses, Jet Li turned down a role in a historical drama after he fell out with director Tsui Hark. Jackie Chan took the role and he won a major acting award for it. You'd think that might have stirred the pot, but there was no drama, no headlines, just distance between them. And even more surreal, Jackie Chan sang the theme song to Once Upon a Time in China 2, and that was Jet Li's breakout franchise. And I might want to add that Donnie Yen was the bad guy in that movie. But this was a song for a film that Jackie Chan never starred in. It was a voice lending itself to a myth that he didn't even help build. It was poetic and it was strange, and it's only in Kung Fu cinema. Over and over, they circled each other, same producers, same press junkets, same genre, but never the same set. But they both worked with Donnie Yen. And I don't know, was it timing, ego, business, or was there just no story big enough for the two of them, but big enough for Donnie Yen?
It's very difficult for the two action stars in the same movies.
But whatever the reason, it didn't happen. And that silence, it wasn't neutral. It left a vacuum, a space that would soon be filled, not by collaboration, but by controversy. By the early 1990s, Jackie Chan was still king. His films weren't just hits, they were events. He'd gone international. He was doing interviews in broken English and crashing through windows on both sides of the Pacific. But even kings hit turbulence. In 1993, Jackie Chan made a sharp turn with Crime Story, a gritty police thriller. No gags, no pratfalls, just intensity. The critics loved it. He won Best Actor at the Golden Horse Awards, but at the box office, it didn't land like Police Story. Fans respected it, sure, but they missed the Jackie who made them laugh while bleeding. So he swung the other way. Later that same year, Jackie Chan released City Hunter, a hyper-stylized, cartoonish manga adaptation directed by Wong Jing. And that one came with consequences, but we're gonna come back to that, so hold that thought. Meanwhile, Jet Li, he was moving differently. After Once Upon a Time in China, Jet Li wasn't trying to reinvent himself. He was reinventing the genre. He wasn't just starring in Kung Fu movies, he was launching an entirely new movement, the new wuxia wave. Films like Feng Sayuk, Swordsman 2, and Fist of Legend weren't just popular, they were redefining martial arts cinema. They were more mythic, more operatic, and more cinematic. Jet Li leaned into wire work, intricate weapon choreography, stylized edits, and dramatic poses. It wasn't just about fighting, it was about form, atmosphere, grace. He turned combat into poetry. He made martial arts feel epic again. Critics praised the beauty, fans embraced the elegance, It was spectacle over sweat, artistry over agony. But here's the thing, not everyone was buying it. Jackie Chan said he hated the flying. He said that flat out. To Jackie, martial arts should be real, grounded, human, painful. You shouldn't float through a fight. You should feel it. He didn't need wires to fly. He used his spine, his ribs, his wrists, over and over and over again. Where Jet Li soared, Jackie Chan crashed, and to him, that made all the difference. This wasn't just a difference in choreography, it was a clash of values. So here you have two martial arts superstars, and you have two visions of what Kung Fu cinema should be, and by the mid-90s, that gap between them was turning into a canyon. After the muted reception of Crime Story, Jackie Chan needed a win, something lighter, energetic, crowd-pleasing. So when director Wong Jing pitched a live-action version of the manga City Hunter, well, Jackie Chan said yes. The concept, pure popcorn, flashy action, comic book visuals, a flirtatious, over-the-top detective hero. It sounded like the right movie, and Wong Jing, he was one of Hong Kong's most prolific directors, known for chaos, speed, and slapstick. But behind the scenes, well, everything fell apart. Jackie Chan came in with precision. Wong Jing brought mayhem. Jackie Chan wanted clean choreography. Wong Jing kept sneaking in Looney Tunes effects and lewd jokes. The tone spiraled fast. The fight scenes got sidelined by slapstick. The gags undercut the grit. And when the movie finally hit theaters, well, Jackie Chan was furious. He publicly disowned the film. He called it childish, embarrassing. He felt betrayed. He'd risked his body, broken bones, doing punishing stunts, and it had all been wrapped in cartoon sound effects and sexual innuendos. For Jackie Chan, this wasn't just a bad movie. It was a mockery of everything he stood for. And the press noticed, the fans noticed, and so did Wong Jing. Wong didn't take the criticism lightly, and he didn't brush it off. He remembered. And just a year later, he got another call from another martial arts star, Jet Li. But behind the scenes, there were creative sparks flying, and not always the friendly kind. In an interview years later, Jackie Chan dropped a bombshell. He had pitched a story to Sammo Hung, his big brother from the China Drama Academy. But instead of working with Jackie, Sammo took the idea and made the movie with Jet Li. That movie, Once Upon a Time in China and America, the sixth installment of Jet Li's legendary Wong Fei Hong series. It was released in 1997, and it was a kung fu comedy set in the Wild West. Sammo Hung was the action director. The film's tone, breezy, acrobatic, slapstick comedy. It felt ripped from Jackie Chan's playbook. And according to Jackie Chan, the whole thing was based on a story that he'd actually come up with, an idea that would eventually evolve into Shanghai Noon.
I cannot tell the secret to you because you will use some other movie. It happened. It happened. Especially in Hong Kong. Especially my Sammo Hung, my big brother. He's still my West movie to Jet Li.
For Jackie, it wasn't just a creative betrayal. It stung deep. And it came just 2 years after High Risk. To fans, it looked like Jet Li was stepping into Jackie's world again.
This is one of the things that makes Wong Jing great, okay? Wong Jing, at the height of his fame, Jackie Chan, at the height of his fame, they worked together on the movie City Hunter. I guess they don't have a very good experience together because a year later, Wong Jing makes a movie called High Risk, and it stars Jet Li.
After City Hunter, Jackie Chan was pissed and Wong Jing was vengeful. So in 1995, Wong Jing got his revenge. The movie, High Risk. The mission, humiliate Jackie Chan by name, by face, and by legacy. And this wasn't subtle at all. It wasn't a parody. It was a full-on character assassination. Wong Jing said it himself. High Risk was a direct attack on Jackie Chan, and he made damn sure that everybody knew it. The film stars Jet Li as Kit Li, a stoic ex-soldier who quietly saves the day. But the spotlight, well, that goes to Frankie Lone, played by actor Jackie Chung. Let's break this down. Frankie Lone is a cowardly martial arts superstar. He's a drunken, womanizing fraud who lets others take the hits while he soaks up the spotlight. He brags about doing his own stunts, but he secretly uses a double. He wears a Bruce Lee's yellow jumpsuit, a callback to Cine Hunter, the film that started it all, and Jackie Chan's connection to Bruceploitation. He yelps at a cockroach, and that sound gets dubbed into a fight scene.
Everybody do the same thing. I tell you.
He shows up to an event in a tuxedo jacket and blue jeans, a direct jab at Jackie's real-life protest of a hotel's dress code. His manager, Charlie So, is a spoof of Jackie's longtime partner and manager, Willie Chan. Even Frankie's father is a parody of Jackie Chan's real-life dad. He even ends up in a scene involving a bathroom joke that is so crude, it made fans and critics wince. Let's just say it involved a urinal, a child actor, and a not-so-subtle jab at Frankie's manhood.
Jackie really likes, collection cars, watches, that's the reason. That's because he really smart.
In the Chinese title of the movie, it translates as Rat's Bravery, Dragon's Might. It's a twisted riff on Die Hard's Hong Kong title, Tiger's Bravery, and a not-so-subtle mockery of Jackie Chan's courage. Wong Jing pulled everything he could from Jackie Chan's real life, his reputation, his crew, his fashion, his pride, and he twisted it into a cartoon villain.
It's not just making fun of Jackie Chan as a brand, it's making fun of specific things that people in the Hong Kong film industry knew about him.
It wasn't edgy, and it wasn't clever. It was personal, it was ugly, and wildly beneath the legacy it was trying to tear down. And Jet Li, well, he wasn't just a bystander. He played the real hero in the movie, the man who actually did the stunts, the one with the honor, the discipline, and the skill. Now, Jet Li didn't say a single bad word about Jackie Chan, but he really didn't have to. His presence in the film validated the hit. And like we've said before, Jackie never responded. There was no press war, there was no lawsuit. There was just silence. And Jet Li, he kept his head down about it. But by then the damage was done. No one said anything, and somehow that made everything worse. High Risk landed like a grenade. The fans knew exactly who Frankie Lone was supposed to be, and they knew who was standing right beside him. But Jackie Chan, he didn't flinch. There were no interviews, no retaliation, and no call-outs, just silence. And Jet Li said nothing either. No denials, no clarifications, no defense. And that silence, well, it screamed. Look, this wasn't their first time working together.
Actually, I work with all the superstars in Hong Kong. Jackie is one of them. I don't have any special feeling.
He worked with so many famous stars. He worked with Jet Li a bunch of times. He worked with Jackie Chan once. Inevitably, you see some of his movies.
I worked with Jet Li in 4 movies, including the High Risk, the Legend of Sherling, and two more. I cannot remember the English title. But Jack is a very serious guy, and he is serious in martial art and serious in life.
High Risk marked Jet Li's 4th collaboration with Wong Jing after Kung Fu Cult Master, Last Hero in China, and New Legend of Shaolin. And back then Jet Li needed the work. The new wuxia wave was starting to cool off. The big budget swordplay films were fading. Wong Jing offered something else: contemporary action, a steady paycheck, and a high-profile role. So Jet Li said yes. Maybe he didn't read the whole script. Maybe he didn't see where Wong Jing was going. Maybe he thought it was just a gig, but he knew it was satire. And when the smoke cleared, he realized exactly what it looked like. Years later, Jet Li did something rare in this industry. He apologized in person to Jackie Chan. He bowed his head, and he said he didn't know how far it would go, that it wasn't meant to be personal, but it became personal anyway. And believe it or not, Jackie Chan forgave him. But that silence between them, that took even longer to heal. Between High Risk and the Forbidden Kingdom, more than a decade would pass. A full generation of fans would grow up believing that Jackie Chan and Jet Li were rivals, not because they were fighting, but because they weren't speaking to each other in public. So if they wouldn't fight each other on screen, well, we'd do it for them. As the years passed, Jackie Chan and Jet Li stayed quiet, but the fans made noise. Online forums, dojo debates, VHS tapes traded like contraband. You just had to pick a side. Jackie Chan, Hong Kong's madman, breaking bones and making you laugh. Jet Li, the Shaolin assassin, slicing through enemies with zero expression. And the question became legend. Who had the better kung fu movie performances? I asked you guys that exact question on this channel in 2024, and over 6,000 votes came in. Jackie Chan was the clear winner at 68%. And the comments, they were heated, hilarious, and sometimes brutally honest. Jackie broke every bone in his body, that matters. Jet Li is the real deal, no comedy, just combat. Jackie Chan's movies had soul, Jet's had skill. They're apples and pears. Why are you doing this to us? Some fans clashed over wire work. Some pulled out movie receipts citing Drunken Master 2, Tai Chi Master, Who Am I, and Fist of Legend. One guy wrote an entire thread on how Jackie Chan used zero CGI and Jet Li was too stiff. Another said that Jet Li's Lethal Weapon 4 scene destroyed Jackie Chan forever. And the kicker, well, the same debate is still going. This year we ran it again. New question, new angle, same fire. Who wins, the Drunken Master or the Stoic Monk? Over 1,000 votes and Jackie Chan still leads at 70%. And the fans still throwing combinations down in the comments. Some back Jet Li for his sharp form and serious presence. Jackie's great, but Jet Li's a more focused martial artist, so my money's on him. Others went hard for Jackie Chan's pain for performance style. No strings, no CGI, and that's what matters. And then there was the Prince of Kings, a repeat voice from both poles, still going strong a year later, writing, Jackie Chan's combat had no strings or CGI, but Jet Li will always be that guy. And this wasn't just a rivalry, it's a fan tradition. But one comment, they said it best. Why choose? Why ask a father to choose between his two sons? For years, fans imagined the dream match. Jackie Chan versus Jet Li. Two legends, one final fight. No wires, no doubles, just fists and legacy. But when it finally happened, it didn't look anything like the fantasy. In 2008, Jackie Chan and Jet Li finally shared the screen in the Forbidden Kingdom. It was a Western co-production filmed in China, starring two of the greatest martial arts in cinema history, and a teenager from Boston. Yeah, that part confused people, but let's forget the plot because what mattered was this. Jackie Chan and Jet Li, side by side, at last. They didn't play enemies, they played mentors, two kung fu masters guiding the next generation. And when they did fight each other, it wasn't a grudge match, and that wasn't an accident. In interviews, Jackie Chan said, Jet Li is more serious, I'm more loose, but we balance each other like fire and water. And Jet Li went on to say it wasn't about who's stronger, it was about working together. That's what fans needed to see.
The fun part is when the action sequence coming, I really want to test how good he is, how fast he is. I never touch with, spar with him. Me good. No, we good. Yeah, we spar each other. We are not like a really beat somebody. When we touch, I already know.
They trained together, they choreographed the fights together, they shot take after take, not to outdo one another, but to make each other look better. In one behind the scenes clip, Jackie Chan says, when I fight Jet, I need 5 takes. When Jet fights me, he only needs 3. He laughs when he says it because this time there's no tension, there's no competition, just respect. They talked together, they smiled, and they shared stories. And in the years that followed, they kept showing up in each other's lives. There were photos from award shows, cameos at events, public praises, and not pressed silence. The wall was gone. This wasn't a rivalry anymore. It was a brotherhood.
The fans, the media always bring up on the newspaper, why do Jet Li with Jane? As the media, they're doing these kind of things.
For years, fans saw silence and they assumed there was beef. But here's the truth. There was no public feud. There was no backstage fistfight. There was no bad blood that ever spilled into the headlines. What there was space. And that space was awkward, lingering, and unspoken. And especially after High Risk, that space grew even wider. Jet Li later admitted that he made a mistake. He said he hadn't realized the film's jokes would land as personal attacks, and he told Jackie face to face that he regretted doing it. And Jackie Chan didn't snap. He didn't drag him through the press. He forgave him. And as it turns out, they actually had been in contact years earlier. In 1993, Jet Li and Jackie Chan had met to discuss a possible team-up, but the timing wasn't right. Their careers were in different places, and the stars didn't align. And when The Forbidden Kingdom finally happened in 2008, it wasn't just a movie, it was a bridge. Behind the scenes, they laughed, they trained together, they shared meals and memories, and of course, they shared choreography. At this point in their careers, they weren't fighting for the spotlight anymore. They were building something bigger, together. In later interviews, both men talked openly about the rivalry that fans kept pushing. And Jackie Chan said, "We're totally different styles. There's no comparison." Jet Li said that Jackie made Kung Fu fun. I made it quiet. That's it. And when asked why they never fought for real, Jackie smiled. "If we fight, we destroy everything." And that quote says it all. There never needed to be a winner because what we got instead was balance. The Forbidden Kingdom was more than a movie. It was a moment decades in the making. To bring Jackie Chan and Jet Li together, two of the greatest martial arts stars alive, you couldn't just cast them. You needed a bridge, and that bridge was Yuen Woo-ping, the same man who launched Jackie's career with Drunken Master, who choreographed Jet Li's most iconic fights in Tai Chi Master and in Fist of Legend. He was a legend in his own right, a mentor to them both. Yuen knew every muscle, every rhythm, every pause. He didn't just choreograph fights, he harmonized their styles. Jackie Chan's improvisational chaos and Jet Li's precise internalized wushu. In The Forbidden Kingdom, Yuen Woo-ping didn't pick a favorite, he made sure that both legends shined. Even the cinematographer was Peter Powell, the Oscar winner behind Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The studio pulled out all the stops to capture this dream match in its purest form. And when the cameras rolled, the result wasn't just a brawl, it was poetry. Jet Li later described it as like playing chess with someone who knows all your moves, two different rhythms, one perfect dance. They weren't battling for dominance, they were showing the world what happens when two masters collaborate, not compete. This was not the war that fans imagined, it was the peace that we didn't expect. Because in the end, rivalry wasn't the story, respect was. So the movie got made, the handshake happened, the silence broke, but the question that never really went away, who wins the legacy? Jackie Chan, Kung Fu's greatest entertainer, the man who turned broken bones into box office gold, or Jet Li, the face of modern wushu, who gave martial arts cinema its mythic power and international prestige? Who made the bigger impact? Whose films aged better? Who influenced more fighters, more filmmakers, more fans, more future martial arts movie stars? Jackie versus Jet Li. One last round. Drop your answer down in the comments. The truth is that Jackie Chan and Jet Li never needed to fight because in the end, they proved something even greater. That legacy isn't about winning, it's about lasting. And both of them, they're immortal. If you're still hungry for behind the scenes battles, don't miss out on the untold story of Steven Seagal versus Michael Jai White. It's egos, elbows, and a whole lot of off-camera heat. Or check out our latest breakdown on why you won't see Iko Uwais in Hollywood anymore. It's not about talent, it's about turf wars. And if you want more legends, rivalries, and the truth behind the stunts, hey man, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and make sure to tell me in the comments Jackie Chan or Jet Li who left a deeper mark. And as always, hey y'all keep training, remember to breathe, and come back and holler at me on the next video.